Today we'll be taking a look at new Augustus features. New Augustus features in the unstable build currently are the Armory and the Unemployed people being shown in your streets. Unemployed people will now be shown in the streets as not walkers, but they'll be sitting on the pavement as do the unemployed people sit on the Senate stairs. If you've ever built a Senate, which usually is not a good idea because Senate is a glorified forum currently. Augustus team has some plans to eventually make a Senate into a monument with its own unique mechanics, but we don't know how it's gonna look like yet, or if it's gonna make it in yet. But just, that's a tangent. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Unemployed people in the streets, yes. So they don't actually walk, they don't do any loops or anything. It's a visual cue to the governor that you have high unemployment rate in your city. As if you couldn't tell that by people tearing everything around them to fucking shreds, as that usually happens. Yes, so now you can see your unemployment visually represented in the city. I like the change. It's not something game-changing. It doesn't have any implications apart from relaying the information visually, and that's a good design. MSTVD told me that on some of the pictures from Alpha of Season 3, apparently the devs might have intended this to be actually part of the game originally, but as we know, the development was rushed and there was just not enough time to do everything. And so a lot of features were eventually scrapped, like walker congestion on the streets, because that's why they mentioned widen the streets, even though it's the worst thing in the universe. Same as this, apparently, as well as some other things. And another change we have, evolved buildings. I don't have a visual cue for you here, but amphitheaters, arenas, and other entertainment structures that haven't had this now can evolve visually to look better when you give them enough desirability around them, like it is with a theater or a school or a library or an academy. And so we now have this as for such builds that enjoy visual feedback and how your city behaves. This will help you to actually be able to get a better variety. I also think it benefits service coverage within the city, as in terms of culture, if it applies to culture buildings. As for culture, usually you don't get culture for amphitheater and arena, I don't think. So these are actually just visual, but the culture buildings that evolve are not visual only, they also increase their coverage. It doesn't actually benefit the block itself, it just gives you the ability to spam less of that building if you want to culture dump to bring your rating high, okay? Now, problem with that is, of course, if you decorate a lot to make them evolve, oftentimes plaza is not enough, and so you are wasting space anyway, but at least you are saving brokers by not having to spam 15 schools, but you can have 8 of them and evolve them with some statues or whatnot, okay? The other thing we have is the Armory. It looks very nice. It is the building on desert terrain we have here. What does the Armory do? The Armory is a building that allows transport of weapons from faraway places on the map into the barracks to speed up and allow even multiple barracks to recruit legionaries rather quickly without, it's for interconnected cities when your card pusher would go on a journey for 15 years across the map to fetch a batch of weapons to then recruit one legionary and then repeat the process. You can use this now, and that will help. However, two things. One, legionaries are awful for any custom map gameplay, as we all know, because they are so slow that the barbarians will be well within your city and quartering your patricians before the legionaries can deploy in position to actually engage said barbarians, which is a slight problem. And second of all, they don't actually do that well. Like, why not use auxiliary infantry instead now that we have them? In any case, it's a thing. A good thing about this, I will not use this on the, why would I use this? But it's a foundation for the future updates and potential future military overhaul, which is good because we need that in our life. And, any addition is great. I like the sprite, it looks really good. However, its function for me personally, I will not use this. Unless I'm forced to by a map, I will not use this. But I like addition of all the new things, and this one looks really good. And potentially in the future could have other functions, if such new features are implemented. For an Arcus map, that would have been a dream. Yeah, very specific maps will benefit from this, the Armory. But most maps, no, not really. Can confirm if they were supposed to appear on streets, but it's implied. Yep. So like there were a lot of ideas floating around with the development of Season 3, and a lot of it just didn't make it in due to time constraints or, you know, also budget limitations, I think. But also just, you know, they might have abandoned some ideas completely from design perspective, and that's understandable. But this doesn't really hurt anything. It's just a visual cue to the governor. You have unemployment in your city, even without looking at the right side at your advisors, you know. But so there are people who play without advisors on the sidebar. So for these people, this will actually be a bigger improvement because now they don't have to go into the advisor screen. Just, okay, just, you know. Unemployed appear on the problems overlay, yes. Remember the sprite limit from the old days, yes. Eventually, some of these things might have been abandoned also due to limitation of the, not just the engine, but the game itself. It was not designed for such huge cities, and so in Vanilla or Julius, if you were to build a really big city, eventually you would run out of walkers that could be possibly spawn on the map at the same time. That goes for, I think, enemies and everything as well. It counts towards a limit, and that limit could not be exceeded. In Augustus, this has been completely removed, and you can have as many walkers as you want. So cities can be as large as you want, as long as the maps allow for it. And yeah, we no longer suffer from such constraints. But it is something to think about why wasn't this part of the game originally? Well, this was one of the reasons. Adding unnecessary walkers or sprites would just cause the game's limitations to be even more apparent, where your game would fill up with just, you know, bloated stuff like this, where these people actually don't benefit you in any way, but when you need to build more prefects, suddenly you couldn't get more prefects spawn because the sprite limit has been reached. Okay, so that's kind of the idea behind it. I hope I explained it properly. What we'll be doing is we'll be playing a map and we'll be testing these new things. Okay. Yeah, let's play Damascus and let's do let's use the armory and let's use the, you know, see about the unemployment queue, and that's what we'll do. Alright. So it's January. Let's take a look at money, 4,500. Let's go ahead and reduce our salary to something reasonable. Something like 8 is okay. Right, a lot of natives. We could trade with them. Potentially, let's check the trade. We are here in Damascus. We can trade with Tarsus for oil and wine, and then with Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem, for olives and furniture. Okay, start with a block. You can start over here. It's not the perfect position. Perfectly, you would start your block here actually, but I already cleared the trees, so let us do this. No need to design specific blocks for desert terrain. Just add more fountain. Fountain does not actually take that many workers compared to how many you would pay for a set of services, which I'm sure I don't need to explain these basic things, but we always do. So let's get a rudimentary block going. We don't start with a whole bunch of money, so this might be a mistake by adding too many houses. Also, watering these people will be a bit of a task, but I can bring water here, so reservoir there will be okay. We'll be putting all the temples in the initial block because my money is a little bit limited. So I don't want to set up a specific area for it. And we don't have any blockers, so one by ones go whenever. We could do this here. This is gonna be a logistics area most likely. So this will do misclicking all over the place. Okay, that wasn't great, doctor. Let's build this here, build a barber as well. Hopefully that prevents plague, and we want 2 prefects. I would even go for 3 of them. Because it's a desert. And it's a big block compared to what you would normally get, so yeah. Let's get that going. Let's wait for immigration. So Armory, how much does it cost? It costs 90 denarii. Okay. I'm not sure if the unemployed will appear even if there are just tents. They could. I really don't know. This is the first time I'm playing with it, so we'll see. Expensive, yes. Well, the armory, 90 is pretty low, all things considered. Like, barracks is 150, tower is 150, you know? So, I'd say it's okay, like, it could even be more expensive. And you are not gonna be using that for most maps anyway. In the future, yes, once they add the overhaul, they design the overhaul for the military, it's probably gonna have a new function. As it is right now, it's just, it's made of dreams. So we have unemployment. I don't see any unemployed sprites yet. I suppose it starts only after the initial period of time is passed somehow, because you are actually protected in terms of sentiment in this early stage, so that you don't suffer riots from having tents only. So this actually could be why. Now we have the unemployed, so let's go ahead and add that. Yeah. Oh yeah, but I have 40% unemployment right now. So like, if it's percentage based, if it was amount based, then yes, I have only 27 unemployed people, but it consists of 40% of my total workforce because I have such a low number of people in the city. So I think it's maybe tied to numbers instead. Okay, we want to sell all these things. Let's take a look at it again. 25 and 15 vine. Okay. So that's gonna be plenty. We need some oil. So olives. There you go. Let's get an engineer and a prefect. And we can... It will benefit our logistics if we just stretch this and put a warehouse around here. This is the trader at entry point, exit point. Sure, I didn't need to outline this. We most likely played Damascus before. Trees in the way. Okay, let's stretch this road. Workshops. There you go, this is gonna take a lot of our labor, but eventually it's gonna be fine. Do we have a prefect? Let's check the native overlay. Yep, he's there. Let's put another one down and we'll cut this off for now, like so. This will accept oil and vine. We can do full warehouse of it, it's fine. Missing a lot of workers, so we'll be watering these people relatively soon. get this going. It's gonna be expensive. We can take the bailout, it's fine. There's no way around it. You have to use a little bit of your fertile land for getting water around, and so we will do it here. It's okay, you don't need all the fertile land. That's actually pointless to try and save space that way. You can just go this way. There you go. Connect that up. Caesar's mad, giving us money. It's fine. Let's give them a bathhouse so they do not violently explode. Everybody going legionaries for army. So yeah, that's gonna be great. So that we can show off the armory. Let's take a look at fountain range. We can start watering these people already. We'll do these as well, but let's wait for mergers. Don't want any mess. It's time to start giving them food soon, but not quite yet. Let's take a look. We have Plaza. You always have Plaza in the base campaign. I'm not here to judge the base campaign on how awful it is. It is really brain dead. Because it doesn't hold up to Augustus features very well. But, yeah, that's besides the point. That's not what we are here to do. So, our population should almost literally explode. Hopefully not literally, because we are in a desert where we have a lot of prefects. What's our population advisor saying? We can still fit 400 extra people. That's gonna accommodate our food production. We could wait until the numbers get high enough so that we get the unemployed people in the streets. I would like to see that happen. Our industry is working. Could actually add more to overproduce slightly, tame the natives, let them trade with me. But first is we should keep this labor so we can use that to get our people food. Oh yeah, there's a dude, you see him? It's not like a tremendous amount of them, it's just like a dude sitting there.
Do you know of any jobs? I need to work.
And the card's running all over. Yeah, there might be some clipping, some clippage. I don't know if they can, if the devs can set a layer, so like he's at the bottom always. This probably should be, right? It's currently the immigration cards. The 2 unused lines in the files, yeah, that's...
If I don't find work soon, I'll need to move to a new city.
Good. Very good. Oh, he shifted his position. I just look away and the bugger moves. Okay, he's not a statue. Good. Really good. Oh, yeah, cool. Now we have lots of them. Let's go ahead and give them some food. Always glad to see new things. They appear and disappear like protesters. Ah, so they have a timed life. I guess that's good. But he happened to appear in the exact same area. I guess they get spawned by housing. This would be my guess. We can do both types of food without any penalties. Fruit orchards closer to the housing because they actually don't impact desirability negatively. And then some vegetables. We feed 2 types immediately. Gonna be really good for our sentiment. And there's no reason not to, there's no wheat anyway. So 1 more. There you go. This is expensive. I'll tax small casa even. Now, making sure they do not explode is another matter. It will take a couple of prefects at least. More. Okay, let's do that. Let's put 1 here as well. What am I doing? I'm sorry, but Not being too precise here, I've been mix-clicking a lot. Hopefully it doesn't happen anymore. Build a road, get a roadblock over here. This thing's gonna accept. We don't have to disable people on this, that's fine. What are we doing? Vegetables and fruits, yes. There you go. It's gonna be a lot of our workers. Basically all of our workers. But hopefully, yeah, we see some oil, we see some wine. Let's go ahead and open the trade to... Was it Tarsus? Yes, 500 schmeckles, let's do it. Sell them stuff. There you go. Yes, I know, I'm 62 denarii in debt. There's a caravan. There you go. So we made some money. We are making some food. Now we need a market. It will result in population explosion once again, so we need to be on top of that. Make them small casa immediately, because there is no reason not to, really. It's just services, and services are extremely cheap to make. Hey, Turgan Walk. This is gonna be a very short stream. We are just showing off the new features on Damascus. I'll add a forum immediately. Let's go ahead and get some cheap ass plaza. The temples provide enough desirability to offset that. Might be doing a medium statue. And a pond. Over 1,000 people already? Okay, good. Now, make some money, then we'll do some military. I'll tame the natives. They'll come to trade with me, and that's substantial. So you'll be expanding the industry. Okay, let's see. I might even make it dedicated warehouse for the natives eventually. For now, all that we need is just a simple mission post, and it will only cover these people. Oh, this will be sufficient. Even this town might actually be. I think it is, if we cut it short. We want to check where he spawns from, and if we check the direction, then we can build a very efficient warehouse. We should also expand our production, because he's gonna buy extra stuff. This food seems like it's completely bottomed out, and it is, but it's also because of first feeding cycle. So it should get better as time goes on. Okay, I didn't see where he spawns from. I suspect it's here. So I have to see about that. For now, it would be easy enough to just get more farms going. Do we have the labor for it? Not yet. We'll wait a little bit. There's not enough goods to go around yet. He did buy some stuff. Does he have voice lines now? No. It's a bit of a shame. We would have liked him to also speak to us about his barbaric ways. Let's get some olive farms. 2 of that and 2 vine farms. Let's expand the industry. It's not the greatest, but all we care about is access here, so that's why it's like this. Technically it would be better off doubling it down, but that's okay. This will work as well. Make sure that we put extra services down, because people are unreliable and do not want to do their jobs. We also should be building more temples soon, otherwise the gods will curse our city. Not what we want. Oh yeah, I should be really watching out for this dude. Also military. Distant battle, okay. So we should make military relatively soon. So this dude is gonna go into his little hut. And yeah, okay, so he spawns directly here, I think. Which means a warehouse right here. Just make sure that he spawns. That's a tile. Oh, there is a native overhaul in the works as well, by the way. I can't really talk about it much, but it is real and it will happen and it's gonna be glorious. Let's get a warehouse. Now, where do we want the little enter? I think he spawned this on this tile specifically. So let's do that. Let's get a highway. Let's get a tile. And we could produce stuff here, or we could cart it over from here. I actually think producing it around here is better. We need to allow caravans to come here, which is, we need to first make sure we overproduce in here. So just give it some time, it's fine. We should have a lot of space in the city. But next thing we need is military, really. So overproducing food would be good. So we need to feed our soldiers. Unlike in vanilla. Let's build a supply post. Now we need to make some weapons for our armored friends. Let's get a military district here. I also should really build those temples I was talking about. Let's go ahead and do that. I really don't want to get cursed. We could put a line block here later, but we will not need that. Population, the goal is 6,000, which is simple to get. So I'm just gonna do this instead. I think we don't have marble or easy access to marble. So we might actually not make any monuments or large temples or whatever. It's a bit cursed road, but it's okay. Where is the engineer? Is the engineer? Yes. Let's put him down. Start making some weapons. So we need to test the armory. I need to go legionaries. Barracks, go. There you go. Except full warehouse of it, it's fine. People are upset about some of the taxes, because the 10 dwellers are also getting passed by a tax collector. It's a problem, we need more food in here. But we started to overproduce it, so it should be okay. It just takes time. Let's go ahead and add a couple more. Just to be extra safe. But I suspect it's the first feeding cycle really hurting us. The rest should be good if we give it time. Making some weapons. This warehouse will need to be supplied with goods to be sold. It's November, let's check the quota. Yeah, they bought almost all of it, just a little bit of oil left. So now it's gonna be the native trading with us. So we are overproducing here. And so we will overproduce even more and add cart depots to bring stuff to his little warehouse here. We should copy and paste our settings. And make more stuff once we get more labor. Cave in. But we are making some weapons, so that's good. Still can't get enough workers. Yeah, we only can accommodate 200 more actually. It's January. Perhaps we delay doing the native thing. These need to be fed. They still haven't been fed yet properly, all of them. If we increase production, it will be useful for another block, so it's not a waste, but not preferable. Like, I'm pretty certain this could have fed the whole city. It's just that it doesn't quite work, as you might see. I need to think about this farm's access. Could just do this. It's okay. It's gonna be one less farm overall in that area. Get some more stuff. Put this down. Give it a roadblock. And some services. This should still be far enough to be efficient. We need that for... There you go. We've got money, just not enough workers. We'll need pottery soon-ish. Insula taxes are great, but can we import clay? Yes, we can, from Tarsus. So we'll be importing clay. Reduce this to 8. We can do 8 wine. Make slightly less of that. Except 8 clay. Four workshops should be enough. Let's give it its own things. And we'll bring it with a depot. Might actually do 8 oil as well then. Accept some pottery in here. I don't like building more warehouses than necessary. Set up a logistics hub here. This does not need to be protected with services. This thing does not accept traders. And it accepts pottery. Bring it with a cart. Hey, this is welcome. You got off the farm, I guess. What? Which farm? Did I cut off a farm? This. Yeah, thank you. It's a mistake. Was the plan all along to actually be able to have to do that? It doesn't matter where it is, I could have put these here. They're not great. There you go. This would have been... No, it wouldn't explode. It's covered. But it would not work. Normally. Food is plentiful enough. We should add a second market. Hopefully it works and doesn't spawn here. For now it works. It could change in the future due to how workers perceive the city. We've got money, we need people. We will do another block soon. Water will be a slight issue, but if I shuffle this fountain slightly, we could bring the water through here. Or, you know, destroy something, but I'd rather do that. Or bring it from here either. Would work. I'm going to build... So, with the armory, this actually isn't how it's supposed to work. Like, if I build an armory... Let's give it... Let it get labor. How many workers does it take? 6. Okay, so it has a... It has a... animation for when it's... Or like, it changes when it has labor. That's good. Make sure that soldiers are quickly and efficiently supplied with weapons. Barbarians are no match for Roman logistics. So it would need a distant warehouse. If I relocate this, save it, put barracks here. Let's get an academy. Need some more weapons. Also, I should really build at least one javelin fort, otherwise we will die. I did zoom in. I heard there are jobs here. I want to be a lion. Jeez, sure. No. Never. Need to wait until some weapons are made. Relocating is good too. What? This is stupid. I would not do this. This was a bad idea. But I need to do it for the test. There is one weapon. Our barracks needs weapons. It's not like a card depot. I can't tell it what to do. It's training javelineers currently. Can see workers. It has workers. I'm missing some in the city. Maybe he waits until there are a couple of weapons before he brings it. Yeah, more welcome. I don't know. That's what I'm testing. I didn't play this patch before, so we'll see. Needs road access. It has road access. If it has, like, if it needs direct road access, oh boy, that would be awful. Like, why would I even bother then? Like, why would you do that to yourself? At that point, why not use a depot instead and a warehouse right next to the barracks? What does it then solve? It probably needs a road. Yeah, there are 4. And he doesn't do it? Okay. So it's a road sort of situation. People who interconnect their city, like this, have a brain defect. It's not good. Connecting your city is the worst thing you can do in this game. In 99% of cases, that is. There are some very extreme examples where it's okay. Going to the barracks from the warehouse. What about this dude? From Armory. Ah, okay. Germanicus here is from the Armory and is just an extra card pusher. Is this something we needed? Like, even people who do this, why wouldn't you just put a warehouse next to the barracks and plan for it? This could be anywhere. You could put it here. Why not do that? Huh? Have you ever thought about that? Not doing cursed things? I know it's a bit of a stretch, but like, what? Did we need this? I'm sorry, but like, I'm trying to look at the bright side, but there aren't many of them for this feature. The only good thing about this is in the future, it will actually have a benefit for the military overhaul, but as it is right now, that is, oh, completely brain dead. I'm sorry, but it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Let's do this. It looks really good. It does. It looks really good. But the function, I don't want. Let's not talk about it anymore. I don't want to make people upset. But like this thing, I'm not an enjoyer of this thing's function. It is literally probably the worst feature. The armor should have like 16 space to avoid having the warehouse there. You mean like it can be placed next to a warehouse? But that doesn't fundamentally change the fact I would just put my barracks next to a warehouse. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty, that's great. It's good to have pretty things in the game, that's completely okay, but I am an enjoyer of function over looks. And this thing, currently, in its current form, is absolute dog shit. It doesn't do anything for you. All the things it does are managed by you not doing stupid things already. So, like, why would you put your... I did put my barracks here for the test, but, like, normally, why not put it here? You know, I'm just not gonna question it. It's fine. It's fine. Need some desirability. Let's give them a couple more things. And we can do plaza. Oh, gods are getting really angry with me. Is it specific god or no? It's all of them. Alright, done. Engage spam. Let's get another prefect just in case stuff explodes. Small insula will be good for taxes. There surely are scenarios when it's useful. It's new, so not any custom maps have used it yet, I don't think. Is it useful in any situations though? I don't think so. Even in its design, like why? What's its purpose? Wouldn't you just put your barracks here? Yes, it would be useful if, let's say, it's a custom map and you can only mine iron here, and you are forced to start your barracks here at the start of the game. You start with it here and you can't rebuild it. Yes, then perhaps. But even then, I would just bring stuff with a car depot. Why not do that? It's more workers, it's 15 workers, yes. It is. Yes, but I don't have to do this. I don't have to connect my city, which is the worst thing ever. Because when this happens, if your city is not just this, like line and industry area, but there is a block here. You do this, market ladies from here will go here to get stuff. Same as these people will now go here to get stuff from here. No, do not do this. Maybe it's an oversight because off-roading would be the main plus point. Yeah, the only plus point, not the main. What's the other plus point? It looks nice, yes. But function, okay, we are talking about how it works. It looks very nice, yes. Potentially in the future, it might actually have other features associated with it. In its current state, I'm sorry, but its only plus thing is just that it doesn't even have that because it needs a road connection. So it's worse than a depot. Yes, it has half the workers. I appreciate that. Thank you. But that's actually not like a huge deal considering I don't have to connect my city if I use a depot instead. So how is it desirability? Let's take a look at that. It's not good, but it's not as awful as industry or forts. So it's okay. It's like, is the same with military academy? But its range is, yeah, it's the same. 4 tiles. It's pretty large. Okay. So we need 55 prosperity. Do we have timber on this map? Might just focus on one block, yeah. Let's focus on one block. Give them all the things. They already have 2 food types. This is an over... This is too much. Let's do 4 workshops for furniture instead. An oversight, it's not an oversight, it's new thing, it's been designed like this. It could be changed, yes, but fundamentally, currently it feels like that doesn't actually serve any purpose. I'm sorry, but it doesn't, because it forces you to connect your city, which is one of the worst things ever. So why would you do this? I'm not quite sure. Let's add even more, because it's one guy. I don't think he even brings enough as a carter. So like a depot actually is better, because they can carry 4 goods at a time, while this dude carries 1, I think. And it spawns 1, to my knowledge. So like, in any case, depot is just better then. Because it has 3 oxen possibly, each one of them carries 4 goods. Yeah, okay. Does the armor get from the warehouse? It gets from the warehouse and brings it to the barracks. And the warehouse carter is still doing that. He's also still delivering the weapons to the barracks, which is bad. So, yeah, technically it would be better if the warehouse walker delivered weapons to armories and then armories send out carters. You know? Would be cool. Yeah, but what would be its purpose? Like, it cuts out the middleman a little bit, yeah. But I don't think it's like a huge thing. Let's accept some furniture in here. Do a depot. Accept furniture and oil. We should overproduce it. From 6 to 5, and let's do oil. From 1 to 5. This native warehouse, I didn't even do anything about that. It's fine. Let's get a cavalry fort. Just for MSTVD. They will need extra entertainment. I might as well give them an arena then. Arenas do cost 500 denarii, which is sometimes surprising to people who've not been building a lot of them. They are quite expensive. They also do need a lion pit. Let's make a lion pit. We need more workers, yes. It's okay. It's like, even efficiency worker-wise, actually having a car depot is just better with a nearby warehouse rather than doing this for the armory, so it's completely worthless. This has no space currently. Like, this is unstable, stuff could change, they could go and change how it works, or its stats, or, you know, whatever. But in its current form, I must say, I would not use this. Even if I was doing Legionaries thing, why not use a car depot and a warehouse instead? It's just better than connecting your city. Or, you know, build a barracks here. Why not do that? I did build it here for the test reasons, but that's, you know, not said. Need the weapons for Caesar. Send it. Let's give them a library. Similar area. Some of these people will not like this arena. We are waiting on furniture. It is here. Oh, it doesn't have road access, that's right. Let's give it a road. It might impact this though. Yeah, and it did. Okay, maybe do this then. That could be cool. Yeah, it would. Or, you know, thermopolium. Just like a Roman buffet, that's what they had. Because a lot of people didn't have time to cook, so they would eat basically fast food stuff from corner stores. Each insula would have corner stores in its bottom floor. But again, maybe they'll make it good eventually, but as I said, in its current form, this is worthless. The armory is not. It's worse than having a car depot and a warehouse. So literally, its only supposed upside is actually not in the game. So Roman fast food, yep. But it's not like, you know, McDonald's. It's Roman fast food. So like that's how pizza was actually invented. Apparently, we thought that medieval people invented pizza, but it's actually not correct. The Romans apparently had that in Pompeii. They uncovered some of these thermopoli, where some of them had, you know, inscriptions or even food still preserved in some of the jars. Of course, rotten and everything, but or even completely petrified. But you could still tell what it was. And the scientists, they found that they had a habit. The Roman pizza, of course, didn't have tomatoes. Tomatoes were not in Europe in the Roman times. So their pizza was different. Usually they would have like cottage cheese on, you know, doughy base, like a pizza crust. You would have like cottage cheese. You would even have dates or olives on it. You would be having some, maybe cut off some cold meat, you know, some ham or something like that. And cheese, other cheeses. Or even something a little sweet. Like, you know, some fruit compote or something similar, or like candied figs, things like that. Depends. You could get savory or sweet or combined, like sort of like Hawaiian pizza, which I'm not a fan of, but the Romans also did that apparently. Yeah, and of course olive oil and bread was like a staple of Roman lower classes. So they would eat, often eat bread with oil. Just, you know, dip your bread into oil and or wine or posca and then eat that. And that would be very common food. Yeah, and that's like Roman fast food. So eat also like fish on a stick, you know, grilled, cut off meat, broil like that as well. Something very quick, you can just go, get it, and just, you know, be in your way, and maybe even eat it while you're going somewhere. That kind of idea is definitely what they had. Because a lot of Roman houses, lower class people didn't even have kitchens because of the size of the apartments and where they lived. So they would be actually reliant on such stores for all of their food, or taverns, or everything, you know? And also open fires were very dangerous, and so the idea of every low-class household having an open fire in their house, in multiple apartments in an insula, that's a fire risk right there as well. Romans bread and wine, and when Caesar has games, people got this free, so I think Baker would be nice. Yeah, I would not hate it. And you're not wrong, and like, yeah, bread and games was a political move, so that you know, gain votes by buying people basically off, but that's how Roman political system worked. Cursus honorum worked like that. Not just people who aspired to be a consul, but people who wanted to be an aedile, you know? People who wanted to just govern a settlement or be assigned to another consul to help him govern a province, or oversee temples in Rome or Italy or things like that. You needed to hold a rank on the cursus honorum. And in order to do that, you need to win a political election. In order to win an election, you need people to vote for you. But the Roman elections were kind of different than our elections. The poor people actually only got to vote if the rich people didn't decide. I'll let you know. So voting was done on campus marshes, which is across the Tiber from the main side of Rome. And they would hold election day, where everyone from Rome was supposed to go there. But there were only so many gates, and oftentimes it would be extremely crowded. So patricians would actually go into the countryside to their villa, and then just, you know, have a closer stroll right there, without having to rub the elbows with the plebs in the city, going through all those gates. Because we could talk about it. Do you know what Pomerium is? You probably do. But border of a city. Yeah, and so these plebs, they not just plebs, Romans actually had insane amount of different strata, and they had their castes, or like, you know, wealth status and your heritage divided into multiple different kinds of people. And the lower class people actually didn't get to vote. And they only got to vote if the patricians and the equites and the similar middle class and higher class people didn't actually have a result that was decisive. If there was a result that's decisive in the election with that class, the lower class people wouldn't even get to vote, which is something we don't know about. Like, normally you don't learn about this when you learn about the Romans, but it's how they operated. And so it's kind of similar like Greek democracy. They also didn't have a universal vote, and they also didn't have, you know, same ideas as we do in many things. But that's besides the point. We could talk about Pomerium as well. I mentioned it. I'm not sure if you would be interested in what it is. It is kind of integral to, especially Rome, but all Roman cities had a Pomerium, really. And also it's where we get the word orb, is from the word urbis, which is the Roman word for a circular thing, like an orb. And then they developed into urbis, you know, a city. Because their cities were designed a lot of the times geometrically, but also circular, because of Pomerium. Pomerium is a border of a city, usually imaginative border, but Roman Pomerium of a city of Rome was the most important Pomerium that ever existed in Roman culture, because its origins are dated to supposed founding of Rome, when Romans believed a legend or a myth about their founding of their city, which I'm sure you've heard about before. The thing is, Romulus and Remus had a disagreement over where the city should be founded over the 7 hills. There were some omens, so, you know, Romulus said that, oh, I saw some birds of Mars flown over this hill, and that's where we should set up. Things like that. I'm not gonna go into details. It's a myth, it's a legend, who knows if it happened. The deal is, supposedly, the murder between the brothers happened because of the sacred breach of the Pomerium, where one of the groups went and attacked the other, crossing their trench, which was the original Pomerium was supposed to be the trench that Romulus was digging with his followers around his chosen hill, and that was supposed to outline the original Roman Pomerium, okay? And that was, according to Roman tradition, the most sacred, unbreachable point in the city, and if it was crossed, it meant total war, and it was not supposed to be done unless you anger the gods and everyone, okay? And that's why Romans held it in such a high regard, and they actually kept sort of like a ditch going through the city, which they called the original Pomerium. Of course, it expanded as well, and it was larger eventually, and it also had only a couple of gates going through it. It was supposed to prohibit weapons being brought into the city, and it did, but people still used stuff like clubs or even knives and other weapons. If you had gladiators, they would wear weapons in Rome. And that's how the people of the late Republic, like, you know, Caesar, Pompey, and other politicians at the time, they would hold gladiators. They would have hundreds of them, like mercenaries, basically, in the city. But regardless, there's actually something funny about the Pomerium gates. They were so small and like not designed for stuff like this, that when Pompey Magnus received his triumph, he actually had a chariot that was driven by elephants, and he couldn't get through one of the gates, and so no one actually thought about, like, hey, how about we just step to the side, you know, and go around the gate of the Pommer. No, you had to go through the gate. So they had to figure that out. But yeah, you know, Roman things. So completely insane batshit things. Yeah, they're just ridiculous. They're ridiculous. Let's put our units up. Definitely gonna be deploying our boys. And let's use the cavalry as well. This is Numidians, I think, or Egyptians. It's probably Egyptians, yeah. It is not appropriate representation of Egyptians, by the way, because they were ruled by the Ptolemaic dynasty for a long time at this point, and their state was more Greco than Egyptian. But whatever. Because Ptolemaeus was one of the Alexander's generals who, after Alexander died, the War of the Diadochi was when all of his generals started to war with each other over the huge empire that he carved out, and then each one sort of ruled an area, and Ptolemaeus was ruling Egypt, and so that's why Ptolemaic dynasty was actually Greeks, and they also had big reforms trying to bring Macedonians and Greeks into Egypt, and they did in mass numbers because they needed them for their military as well as administration, since their state was solely based on Greek states. It still had natives, but yeah, it was not like this. This is not an Egyptian army of this period. Like, how do you have to be to think like that? Yeah, it's just, again, some of the things they did is just completely bonkers. I think I've mentioned it, it's just Roman things. The more you learn about the Romans, the more you think they're insane. But, you know, a lot of the things they did also had a reason, so it depends. It's supposed to be a camel, yeah. It is. Oh, we have some unemployment. The Grand Insula is really good, so prosperity is not gonna be a problem. Our population can go up to... yeah, we need another block. We can do that. I thought about this. And I've decided to do this. Fortunately, I've kind of set up with that in mind, but also it could be a problem, and I might have to give people statues. So we'll see. Possibly just a 2x2 here. Just to secure the sentiment. I don't really care too much about them, but it would definitely not be good if we had devolutions like that. So busy, I missed everything since I missed DVD. Well, it's not a long VOD, you could rewatch it if you want. I had some rants about Pomerium and the Romans, and the Roman fast food. Just completely unrelated things, so I've been talking more than playing. You didn't actually miss much. Did Arena get a reskin? Yeah, you see that it looks different, it looks like it's more basic. What if we gave it stuff, nice things? It will evolve, it will transcend, it will become better than its former self. Just need enough. So did amphitheater and other related structures. You're having a hard time evolving it here. Please, do your job, evolve. Come on, you know you want to. Poke it with a stick. Do something. Come on. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now it has the red, you know, color. Yeah, whatever. Let's It's fine. Now we are cooking. Let's get this another block set up. We need some labor soaking though, so let's take a look. First we do some trade. Also, MSDVD something. Tavern has changed too. Yeah, it has one extra stall in its courtyard. That's good. It's just visual, but my man, the Armory. Tell me exactly why it exists, because it costs 6 workers, but it sends 1 carter, and it needs a road connection, this is bad for your city, connecting it like this, it's awful. Why wouldn't you just put a warehouse near a barracks? And if weapons are far away, use this. You know, it's more efficient. 3 oxes, each one of them 4 capacity for goods, compared to one dudette carrying weapons. Like, it's kind of cute, but its function is currently just doesn't really have a place. I said it could still see changes before, you know, it makes it into the main release. That's completely understandable. But yeah, currently I'm sorry, but even the very small little things I thought it could be points for it are actually not good. Like, it doesn't have a place currently. Kerry was supposed to continue working on it, but he got busy again. Alright. Okay, well, sorry to hear that. We'll see. It's cool, I like how it looks a lot, but its function is really limited. Because literally it doesn't have one. Because everything else you have is better solution. But yeah, like, I will be very interested if you guys make it into something actually serviceable. As it is currently, I don't think it's very good though. Alright. Let's get this block rolling. I'm gonna have to cut this one shorter. I actually don't want another block yet. Let's see the trade. I was supposed to do that. Olives and furniture. Let's do a furniture trade. But no traders here. Or here. Put on a warehouse. We could plan for a highway, but highway here is not necessary. Because there is such a low quota that fulfilling it is not really a problem. Let's do this. We'll be overproducing furniture now. So we added 3, which means 6 workshops. There you go. This could actually be cut off. So it could be a loop. Loopity-loop. Should at least function off-road, yeah, to make it remotely usable. I think the off-road point is good. Bring that up. Bring up multiple carts too, yeah, definitely. Because like 15 workers for a cart depot, yeah. I do get that it's expensive. 15 workers, yeah. But 6 is for 1 carter bringing 1 good. It's not just the amount of carters, it's that his cart only carries 1, I think. And this carries 4. And I can just set up a warehouse adjacent to the barracks, eliminating the need for the choke point being, you know, feeding weapons into the barracks. That's actually not a big deal if the warehouse is right here. Which I could have done, we just set it up here for testing reasons. Set up a new block. We'll have to add extra here. Oh yeah, also, I haven't really thought about the water much. Well, we can sacrifice some of this space, but it's not good. Obviously. If we need to add people, because I want them here as well. This is potentially really a good spot to add more houses. put this academy elsewhere. Just gonna put it here. We've seen how it works. I'm gonna put the barracks here now. Could get more houses on the side. It is a bit sketch though. Maybe we do them here instead. Yeah. I'll be plazaing this. Sure. We've got some services. We leave some space for all our area, probably. Prefect. Oh yeah, I also need logistics access. I think that needs to go here. Does that? Well, it is kind of close. It's okay. I want 3, just because crime could cause fires. I know, Caesar, you hate that. That's fine. The even faster way would be connecting the block directly, but it's fine. Give them a bath. Let me check something real quick. Alright. Yeah, the spawn speed is the same. It's not usually the choke point for making soldiers, how quickly you can shuffle weapons in there, especially if you know, build your warehouse next to your barracks. It's it might work better with multi-barracks, I don't know. But multi-barracks, even Kerry hates multi-barracks, so like, I don't know. Oh yeah. I mean, future military updates is of course the biggest thing I'm interested in. I see the bigger picture and that's what I want. But for now, again, this needs some more thought. Because it doesn't even... I would like it to be able to do something. But I don't think even multi-barracks people would use it for anything right now. Why would you? It's never a problem to... Well, you can just change the stats, make it work. I think you will. But I don't know how. The off-roading is the basic, but then it still isn't as good as the car depot, so... You know, if car depot was unable to bring weapons, but then again, sometimes if there is a map where you make weapons for export and it kinda relies on that, so disabling it from the car depot doesn't make sense either. Yeah, I mean, it works for multi-barracks, and it probably is better for multi-barracks people, but I wouldn't necessarily say even multi-barracks people will benefit massively from it. It still is like, why wouldn't you just, you know, put your warehouse next to the bed? And then that completely eliminates the need for this thing. As I said before, it looks really beautiful, but does it have any practical uses? As Zoltan Chouet would say. Get some plaza. I'm gonna water them already. Couple of markets. Make some altars. You can do that arguably. Not as good, because then you need to always end up with Venus as the last one, or you will suffer for having imbalanced god coverage. While Lararium you can just spam, and each one is its own thing and it doesn't need the other ones. Can Armory store weapon? No, it doesn't actually have anything going for it right now. Like, it doesn't have an inventory. It just sends an extra carter to get a single piece of weapons and bring it to the barracks. If there is a road access, that's how it works right now. But why would it need to store them? Because wouldn't you just make a warehouse instead? I'm sorry, but like, some of these things don't seem to make much sense. Let's make more chads. We are not gonna be in position in time for the advance. Some of them, at least. Is it dead? Yeah, there you go. Nice. Also, Keryu fixed the animations for dying mounted units. So before, like, Carthaginian elephants were the biggest offenders of this. Where they would die, they would just kind of still walk around a little bit. And they would be dead, but the game would still display them as being there. Now that's fixed. Which I'm a fan of. That is a good fix. Darla needed. Never realized we needed it until you have it, and then you cannot not have it because it's awful not to have it. Let's get parks, large pond, some small ponds. Similar area. Unemployment is pretty high. We might need patricians, even though I didn't want them. What do I do about that? Well, we could also culture dump. Let's make a culture dump, but it's gonna be cultured as fuck in that it will have desirability, so it won't need as... well, I actually do want many. Well, that's the problem. Like, I need labor sponging, so actually evolving them is against me. So I will not evolve them. Or just make a regular spam. Mark using cavalry. Yeah. I've told you before, I'll start to mix one unit in here and there to see how it works. But, it's also that I'm playing a campaign map, which means that I can get away with murder. Like, you know, this doesn't actually showcase their capability much. Because these missions, they don't have much military action going on. Yes, Caesar hated that. Fine. We will get extra stuff for these people. Should have prepared that already. An arena? I know. An arena? Constantly yells at me. Let's get a farm. So these people are not fed yet. We need to increase our food production, but it's getting far away, so we need to do it with a depot. But money is not looking good. Favors 32. He didn't ask for many things yet, so I'm gonna send him a gift. Hopefully he makes some money soon. And we feed these people. We definitely need to produce more food though. We're at 4,000 population. Okay, we got a little bit of money. Let's go ahead and set this up. We can't put that there. Just gonna do this. This is also pretty bad. Because I'll set up my vine. It's okay. The idea is you want this to be a separated road layout from the rest, otherwise they will also try to deposit here from time to time, and that's not what we want. That's why we need to waste a little bit of their fertile land. It's okay though. We could also farm in the other area on the map. Do that. Do... If I do this... It's not connected, right? No, it's not. So we are still good if we do this. But I need to roadblock this. This is... Look at the double roads. It's really bad. What I can do is just reduce the amount of them. And then put down copious amounts of services. Not forts, prefects. Yes. And get a couple going. And some depots. Accept stuff. 1616. Transport it. Let's wait. I know. Transport it from 8 to 2. From 8 to 2. Not very precise today. Let's do the same with fruits. Yes. More food. Deacon says, I think the idea of the armor distributing the armor to the barracks is the wrong approach. It should be the other way around, where legionaries get trained in the barracks and then walk to the armor to pick up their weapons. So it doesn't interrupt the current distribution, but also adds an additional step in training troops. I wouldn't hate that. But you would need to add a sprite, so like... How would the recruits look like before they pick up their weapons? I guess it could be sort of like the distributors for food. The ones that walk these guys. This is like a recruit. Camp servant. You know, just without carrying the green goo, of course. Did you show off the upgraded amphitheater? I did show off the upgraded arena. Amphitheater, not yet. We could do it. Might need another market here. See about a highway. It's gonna speed up slightly. The upgraded tavern looks very nice, yes. So this is how a normal tavern looks like. Let's do it here. Alright. Wasn't quite enough. Nullified need for the red carpet, which I made with my arduous labor. Yeah. Would make more sense though. Oh yeah, now you see this is like a toilet. Yeah. Okay, good. They've got a little hut. Great. Jabba the Hutt can fuck right off. We don't need that. We will need to counter-spam though. Pretty soon. We also could expand the food here. Yeah, let them have the weapons. Do this. Some fruits. They don't need to be super efficient, but obviously it would be best if they are. So do. Do that, and let's get a roadblock right here. Add stuff. A couple hundred extra people fed. Now, yeah, this is taking a little while. Hopefully with the new markets it will help. Looting, yeah, I know, it's the tents. They'll get their stuff soon. Do they have a... No, we need to give them a library. I'll add another market. This is still not looking great. Ah, rioters. Let's raise wages. It's the tents. I could remove them, but we need these people to evolve. I'm just lazy to add another supply hub, but we could. We could do that. Carpenter could still get weapons to the armory. Yeah, so like an armory would get its own cart pusher to go into a warehouse to get weapons and bring them to the armory. And then a legionary would come from the barracks after being trained to go get the weapons. But would they come to the academy first or after? I guess barracks, academy, armory. Would make sense. Also the recruits should walk faster than the legionaries. Because even that can be a factor when your barracks is half across the city. This food stability is beyond awful. I'll need to just add more. Maybe we give it time, it's gonna solve itself. I really am lazy, I don't want to deal with this. Pass the solution to the rest of the devs? Right, from chat, you mean? I mean, I could do that. We've got the community feedback thing for a reason. I asked RL there to make it because a lot of times people will be asking about things and then I forget or I don't know what to say to some things they ask for. Okay, don't write anything for a second. I need to take a screenshot. There you go. Now I can again. Yeah, Destination Walker has a good point though. Like legionaries fundamentally are awful already, so adding extra steps to them, you are basically putting a lipstick on a pig. It's already being a unit that's not used much because of how terrible it is. So it's cool, but functionally it's gonna actually make less people use them, I think. But military overhaul will change that eventually. So yeah. Yeah. No, it's the question is about how legionaries are awful, and that's what we know. Oh yeah, Amphitheater Revolt, you see it? The question is about, or the point for Destination Walker is how bad legionaries are and the fact that not many people use them, and doing this will not make more people use them. That's completely a fair point. It doesn't change the fact that it's not for this feature to fix, though. The armory is supposed to do something else. But yes, I do get that point as well. Okay, I think we need to bring more food. Also, gods are incredibly angry at me. There's no marble. I would have to import it, so let's go ahead and just spam small temples. It's fine. We are taxing people, so you should have plenty. Having gods be happy also helps culture, which culture is not a huge deal. I actually need another set of small temples. Hey Sam, welcome. Sam says they definitely pile up, but it's different. Hey Gary, welcome. Okay. Diamonds happen because natives are programmed to not regroup and stick to formation, which sounds like what should happen with natives, maybe? Like disorganized mob? Yeah, but diamonds are actually the bestest formation because they can punch through lines of units easily. That's why they are despised, is because they do that. So like disorganized mob like this, like we saw them approach, that's good, you know, make them sort of a horde of people, that's fine. But the diamond penetrates your defenses, that's its strength, right? That's why it has been so revered and despised or not respected, because it was awful. Now it's, in most cases, not in the game yet, anymore, I think. Sam said he still saw them, I didn't, but it's possible. It's only because Roman javelins entities do 20 damage. They do, they are very powerful. But they've always been powerful, and it's also because the military aspect in this game is not necessarily that great. The only reason it's fun is because of the javelineers. If you have an army that doesn't have a single javelineer unit, you know how awful the combat feels. I've been there. I've done runs for like legionaries only and whatnot. It's not good. So, you know, thanks. We need this to evolve. What is the problem? Oil. Well, there is oil. Just need to wait. We've got so many markets. This is slightly too far away still, technically. That's why it's happening. I might have to shorten that distance. This cavalry is gonna get overwhelmed now. They get stuck if they're in combat. But we can do this. It's fine. The snakes. 10 units still left. I don't even see 10 of them. They're probably stacked. 8, okay. Maybe it's counting dead as well. I think the game counts dead as entities still, sometimes. There you go. Cute camels, yeah. Yeah, the military was always an afterthought. It's supposed to be an economic, game, and it's a city building game, so military is there to inhibit you economically, so you don't invest only into developing the city, so that you spend your money on other things, as well as, you know, providing variety, as well as it was, you know, it's interesting. It's a Roman game. Wouldn't you want military in it? Yes, even though it's not like completely fleshed out or good. It's a good addition to it because it's a Roman game. There's some questions regarding a few monuments. Okay. Look forward to one day that we get box selection for military. Oh yeah, absolutely. I suggested that as well, because it is something that would be a really good addition. But it's probably pretty hard to implement, so eventually we might have it, I guess. Will not anytime soon, yep. So let's see, we need some pop, we need some peace. That's fine. Just have to wait. Labor is overflowing. Could make some towers, I guess. Just watchtowers, it's fine. No, mana is okay. Need to be careful about natives. We don't want to make them angry. Let's get a choke point. Oh. Maybe we don't get a choke point here, it's fine. I don't remember the invasion points here. Hopefully we can win soon. Is the pop cap actually allowing for us to win? No, we need more. We don't need like a tremendous amount of people. We could replace a couple of temples. Neptune series. So we're gonna be something. This house is gonna be a problem. We can do the same here. And jobs. Let's get some culture, I guess. They'll get fed soon. Food is overflowing, but labor is a bit of an issue. We will need to labor sponge more. See if we have to. Hey, Fairby. Almost done. We've tested the armory. We've tested the unemployment sprites. Are they actually visible now? I don't see any of them, yet we have a high unemployment. Yeah, not sure where they went. Eraserhead says, have we seen the unemployed in the streets? Maybe multiple the extra culture buildings temporarily. I did see them at the start of the stream. We had them, but now I have high unemployment, but I don't see them. And mothballing, I would have to do it manually. I don't have a hotkey for that. I don't think. So that would be awful. Yeah, I don't see them anymore. Yeah, but I've seen them. I've seen them today. They did appear eventually. They don't appear immediately when you have tens. I think it's tied to a specific number of people, not percentage. Because with tens, at the start you have 150 pop and you've got like 40% unemployment. And they didn't appear then, but they appeared later. Do I have a mothball? Yeah, okay, I have a hotkey for it. Does it actually do anything? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, problems. Where is the risks? Yep. They exist. It shows up because they just don't have actors, but theaters actually don't benefit from actors. They don't get a higher entertainment for whatever. Okay, so our city is at the pop. We need peace. She's just waiting, basically. Should be on the rooftops of Grand Insula, so they're visible. What an idea. It would clip over everything, yeah. I've seen that actually with the immigration cards or the oxes. It looks a little bit weird, but the dude just sitting in the middle of the street. Tibetan monk style, ready with the gasoline can, and then the car just goes straight over him and just kind of clips, and he's on top of it for a moment, which looks a bit weird. But I suspect that's how it is because of you cannot like set layers, I guess, for these things. And they appear by houses now, right? It kind of makes sense if they appear by industry areas too. So like, waiting for a job to become available, yeah? Maybe. But then, would you want that in your entire city? Like, I think maybe that's too much. Isn't it okay to just have it by houses? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's enough as it is. You don't see them very often, but that's also because of the design. If you got better lined up streets, maybe you see them more. They'll destroy this warehouse. I can just tear it down. We don't need this. This mission post is also gonna get destroyed. Let's do this then. He's a man with a mission. Let's get this set up. They might go around, actually. We do not want that. They have an into my javelins there, which is pretty bad. It's almost done, just peace. So yeah, the armory unfortunately currently has like no function, because literally you are better off with a warehouse and a cart depot. Even labor-wise, they transport very little compared to a cart depot. And a warehouse adjacent to a barracks is meta anyway. Why wouldn't you do that if you have choices in life? So unfortunately, its use is not just limited, but pretty much non-existent at this point. But in the future, it is a stepping stone to implement more changes, and maybe it's gonna have an actual useful function later, which would be nice. For now, it really does not have one. Yep. Not just much, but there are competitors to it, like a warehouse or a cart depot, that basically do what it does, just better, cheaper, faster. So why would you use it? You know, and the fact it needs a connection with a road to your city, it means, yo, you want to interconnect your city. if you play this game for more than 5 minutes, you know that interconnecting your city is a bad idea. So anything that requires you to do it is fundamentally flawed, because it's bad. People will not want to do that. So, another thing is it's only for legionaries, right? We talked about things I didn't want to talk about, how legionaries are cursed. Will this make more people use legionaries that you add an extra step to it? A lot of people already don't use them, so making them more complicated does not do that. Or like, people will not use more legionaries because of this. But in the future, again, military overhaul could change everything, which is good, but needs to be a comprehensive change, not just a flat-out nerf to only the good unit, because then you make everything bad. And as we talked about, that is a really, really bad game design. I hope that doesn't happen, because if it happens, it's gonna ruin the game. Okay. So instead, I would like to see a comprehensive system of armor and counters and all that, but, you know, sort of more like Total War style with unit cards and box drag selection, things like that. I know it's a lot of work, but that would be optimal, I think, for the military.